I'm going to do the Matthew 24 signals that were the signals given by Jesus Christ himself. He is the greatest authority besides God and the Holy Spirit. And then we're going to kind of go into the 4 seals, which I kind of skipped over in the first 3 videos. And then we're going to kind of go into before God's judgments are poured out. This is before God's tribulation. This is going to prove that the trumpets are the tribulation. Okay, so Matthew 24, we're going to start with the signals. So Matthew 24 and verse 6, Jesus Christ's own words exactly. He says, you'll hear of wars and rumors of wars. Verse 7, nation will rise against nation. Kingdom will rise against kingdom. There shall be famines, pestilences, and earthquakes. These are the beginning of sorrows. So everything listed above that is the beginning of sorrows. These, I believe, are the first 4 seals. Revelation 6, which is the 4 horsemen. These will grow into intensity until the Jesus Christ returns. So the first seal is the white horse. The rider had a bow and a crown, and he went out conquering and to conquer. I believe these are the 4 beasts conquering each other, as I discussed in the last video. The lion with the eagle's wings plucked off, that's America. It's going to be conquered by the bear. The leopard's going to conquer the bear, and then the final beast is going to rise. So I think that's what's going to be happening in all that. And then the second seal, the red horse is sent out to take peace from the earth, to kill each other, and the rider had a great sword. The third seal is a black horse, and he had a pair of balances in his hand, which represents famine, because it's talking about, penny for bread and so forth. Paraphrasing, I might not even have that correct. The fourth seal is a pale horse. Death and hell were the riders, and power to kill a quarter of the earth. So we're going to come back over here. Verse 9, many prophets will deceive many. I think that's just always been going on. It's just going to keep getting worse and worse. With social media and all these platforms and websites that people can create, they can easily make videos and do all kinds of stuff and proclaim that they're a prophet when God has not even sent them. I kind of added in there that after that, 144,000 saints will be sealed. That will happen. Then in verse 15, it says, verse 15, it says, when you therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, which is Daniel 9:23, then flee. This is when the final Antichrist will rise with the false prophet. This is when miracle signs and wonders, the false gods are going to rise. They're going to be doing all kinds of stuff. It could be Baal, it could be Zeus. It really doesn't matter to me. They're all false gods. It doesn't matter which one they use or which one rises up. They're not God of the Bible. Then seal 7, silence in heaven for about half an hour before the prayer. The saints' prayers are offered up. Then verse 21, it says, for then there shall be great tribulation, the 7 trumpets, and see the 4 corners. So we're going to come over here. We're going to look at before God's judgments are poured out. So this is 4 corners. So we got 4 corners of the land and 4 corners of the world. So in Ezekiel 7, 9, and 10, God kind of shows us through the prophet Ezekiel, through a trip through heaven or a vision of heaven. God tells Ezekiel in 7:2, an end. The end has come upon the 4 corners of land. This is judgment on a city, a nation, a land, a territory. Ezekiel 7:3, I will send my anger upon thee and judge you according to your ways. Then you'll see Ezekiel 9, 6 men, 5 with destroying weapons, and 1 with a rider's inkhorn. The man with the inkhorn is sent by God to go and mark those that cry and sigh over their abominations in the land, in the 4 corners that he's judging. And then behind him were the 5 men with destroying weapons, and they killed those. And God said, do not spare. Young, old, children, I don't care if they have the mark, do not have pity on them. Just kill them. Then in Ezekiel 10, you see a man with a writer's inkhorn, and he's instructed by God to go to the altar and grab coals from the altar with his hands and cast it to the earth. And then there's really nothing else said about this. Now, when he judges the four corners of the earth, which is in Revelation 7:1, there's four angels standing on the four corners of the earth. That's very much just like Ezekiel 7:2. Ezekiel 7:2, Revelation 7:1. And then Ezekiel 7:2, it says, "And another angel came from the east, having the seal of the living God, saying, Hurt not the earth, the sea, the trees, till we have sealed the servants of God their foreheads." The number he called out was 144,000. That's like the right man with the writer's inkhorn being sent by God to mark those that sigh and cry of abominations. I think that because by the time the end of the world, there's going to be less wicked people, and it's easier for God to just mark his and destroy everybody else. And maybe that's why it's the opposite. Then in Revelation 8 is the seventh seal. There's silence in heaven in half an hour. Then 7 angels are given 7 trumpets. Another angel before the altar with the golden censer, and he was given much incense, and he offered it with the prayers of all the saints. And then the angel took the censer and he cast it to the earth, and then the 7 trumpets are dispatched. So it's very similar between Ezekiel witnessing the destruction of a nation or city of the land, the 4 corners of the land, and then Revelations, the 4 corners of the world. They're very, very, very similar, and God is showing us what is going on in the spirit realm before he sends out his judgments. This is the trumpets. This is the destruction of the world. This is the tribulation. This is exactly what I was talking about. The trumpets are the tribulation. That's why the servants are sealed up. That's why there was silence in heaven. That's why all the prayers of the prophets and the saints and all the slain upon the earth, their prayers were sent up. And then it was cast to the earth. And then the trumpets are dispatched. So that is the tribulation. I'm pretty sure of that. So then Jesus Christ said in verse 29, "And immediately after the tribulation, then the sun is darkened, the moon shall not give light, the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heaven shall be shaken." This is definitely seal 6. Seal 6, a great earthquake, the sun became black as sackcloth, the moon became blood, the stars fell to the earth. Those are exactly the same. So that shows that the seals are going to be going on while the trumpets are going on. It's going to continue until the day of Jesus Christ's return. And then Jesus Christ said in Matthew 24:30, "And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man, Jesus Christ, in the heavens. And then he'll send his angels to gather his elect." So this kind of proves that the seals are the beginning of sorrows, and it's going to go on through, and the trumpets are going to start, and there's going to be sealing of the servants. But before God's judgments do come on the land, he does offer up the prayers of the saints, and he marks those that are his, and then he casts fire to the earth, and then destruction begins. God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. He does not change.